From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, Azar.
Good morning, folks. Happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Welcome back to the Practitioner Brief here on the CyberHub Podcast. Before we get started today, let me just remind you quickly, we are still on for Veteran November. On a personal note, I want to thank everyone who sent me a message over the weekend. I did celebrate my birthday, and it was a great, magnificent weekend. Thanks to all your birthday wishes. I'm very kind, but that keeps me going on Veteran November, where this week, since we're going into Thanksgiving and my birthday kind of catty-cornered it, leading up to Thanksgiving, I'll be sharing Veteran November podcast with people who have influenced me the most in cybersecurity. People who have had a great relationship with, people who have inspired me to think different, other heroes and veterans. So tune in for those this week. We're going to have some great episodes. On Thursday and Friday, we'll be off because of Thanksgiving, but we'll be posting 2 episodes of Veteran November each and every single day, Thursday and Friday, for you guys to listen to, so you're not completely out of the loop into what's happening. So before we keep going on today's Practitioner Brief, make sure to subscribe. And now, please, you can get our Practitioner Brief on our website at cyberhubpodcast.com, so make sure you go there. And now, without further ado, let's get right into today's Practitioner Brief. A lot of things to cover, so we'll get right into that. So a new Grelos Skimmer variant siphons credit card data. VMware fixes a critical flaw in its ESXi hypervisor. Hackers post exploits for over 49,000 vulnerable Fortinet VPNs. And a major power outage in India is possibly caused by a cyber attack, according to reports. Let's get right into this. So for those who don't know, many of you do, because you have kids or a family or a wife or a girlfriend or a partner. Someone's counting down to Christmas. And for the year we've had, I think we're all ecstatic that this year is almost over, and we hope that everything will be behind us. New reports of vaccines with COVID-19. No such thing as a new normal. We go back to our lives. Yes, our lives are going to be a little different, but we go back to our lives, folks. That's right around the corner. And so one thing we know is because of COVID-19, more people are shopping online. Well, hackers know this as well, and cyber criminals know this. And so the Grelos Skimmer malware that's been around since 2015 is making a huge comeback. The new variant of the skimmer appeared in July of this year. The new version of the skimmer features a loader stage and a skimmer stage, both of which are base 64 encoded 5 times over, according to researchers. The Grelos variant, which was discovered by Kraut, also used WebSockets for skimming. The WebSocket API is a technology making it possible for a two-way interactive communication session between a web browser and a server. The use of the WebSocket connection to exfil sensitive data is not new, but was first observed in connection with the MacCard Group 9 skimmer attack in December of last year. The skimming domains, which includes Facebook API Manager.com and Google API Manager.com, contain a more recent variant of the Grelos variant. Researchers said the connection between the cookie and the skimmer domains piqued their interest because skimmer domains sharing an identical cookie is not very common. Also, the skimmer had a similar base 64 encoded loader stage, except that this one specific loader only had 1 layer of encoding instead of 5. The skimmer code also included a translate function with various phrases used by fake HTML payment forms that it creates after it compromises a specific website. What this means is if you're shopping this weekend, if your loved ones are shopping now for the holidays online, educate them. One thing I'm telling everyone is get a prepaid Visa card, put however much money you want to spend on it, use that online, so that way if it gets skimmed, it doesn't risk your bank account, it doesn't risk your identity. It's the smart thing to do. It costs a little bit more money, but it's a good sense of security, and most of these you can load them online through Visa or Amex or Discover or MasterCard's websites, and use them that way, so you can interconnect them to your bank. You put money on the card, you use the card online, and that's that. Especially if you're buying from and you're supporting local businesses online this holiday season, which a lot of us are. And so they're collecting through quickly orchestrated, not very security thought after websites, because that's really not their business. They're just trying to survive. And so let's just, us as a community, do that as well. So that's one thing. VMware fixes the critical flaw in the ESXi hypervisor. So VMware has actually fixed the critical flaw in CVE 2024-004 and has a CVSS score of 9.3 out of 10, make it critical. According to VMware, on an advisory on Thursday of last week, a malicious actor with local admin privileges on a virtual machine could exploit this issue. The patch, which has now been released and is available on our website at cyberhubpodcast.com or on the VMware, essentially ensures that this vulnerability no longer exists. We spoke about this vulnerability several weeks ago, and VMware has now patched it, so we're ecstatic. Job well done, folks. Let's get those things patched. VPNs. Here we go, folks. A cyber criminal has posted a list of one-line exploits to steal VPN credentials from almost 50,000 Fortinet VPN devices. Present on the list of vulnerable targets are domains belonging to high street banks and government organizations around the world. The vulnerability that is being referred to here is from 2018 13379er, a path traversal flaw impacting a large number of unpatched Fortinet 40OS SSL VPN devices. By exploiting this vulnerability, unauthenticated remote attackers can access system files via specially crafted HTTP requests. The exploit posted by the criminal lets attackers access the SSL VPN _ web session files from Fortinet's VPN to steal login credentials. These stolen credentials could then be used to compromise a network and deploy ransomware. This week, threat intelligence analyst Bank Security found the hacker forum thread where a threat actor shared a large 49,577 device list of such exploitable targets. According to Bleeping Computer, although this is an old bug that's trivial to exploits, organizations have been having a very slow patching process, enabling attackers to continue to exploit this well-known bug. So ensure you get that patched. And our final story of the day is one that I think, whenever I read these stories as a CISO, it reminds me of where people practice before they launch. Right. And so if you're good at your craft, if you've ever played sports or art, or you've done anything, you know that you practice before you put on a show. If you've performed, you practice before you put on a show. Well, last month in India and Mumbai, they had a power outage. And while you guys may say, what's the big deal? India's infrastructure is not top notch. Well, outside of Mumbai and Delhi, you might be right there, although India has, been vastly expanding its infrastructure. But in Mumbai of all places, it's cultural capital of India. Mumbai, the business center of India, to experience a almost up to 12-hour power outage seems to be a bit weird at the time. Well, now, according to the Mumbai Mirror, investigators found multiple suspicious logins into the servers linked to the power supply and transmission utilities. It's believed that the specific manipulation of the servers may have triggered the outage. The activity was traced to several South Asian countries, and investigators are trying to determine if it was part of a coordinated effort on the Indian infrastructure. The paper learned from its sources that threat actors, in many cases profit-driven cyber criminals, have been targeting utilities in India since February, including with ransomware, BGP hijacking, and DDoS attacks. India Today did report that the malware was discovered by investigators at a load dispatch center where the outage is said to have originated. Load dispatch centers are responsible for ensuring the operation of the power grid, monitoring grid operations, and scheduling and dispatching electricity. If this is the case, the most significant power outage, which was linked to Russia, this now bypasses it, as this exceeds the sophistication then. That's it for us here today, folks. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Veteran November, 2 p.m. today. Daniel Surgile will be joining me, so make sure you tune in for that. Until then, folks, we'll be back tomorrow. Stay healthy and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure this on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.